Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyra, and here on this channel, we love makeup. But some of us are not out for that Instagram fame, that editorial look. We're just here for real makeup, for real life, and real people like us. I am finally getting out my 1 week 1 palette with the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. This beauty right here is the last palette that I purchased this year, and I'm so happy to have it. This is so stunning. It has so many unique textures and colors and duochrome goodness in here. So I decided the best way to bring my review to you would be to talk to you guys day by day through each look and give you my thoughts as I go and a little roundup at the end. So with all of that said, we have 7 looks coming. We better get started right now. Guys, welcome to the first day with the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. I'm wearing blue today, so I think we're gonna try and go that route. And I think the first shade I'm gonna put into my crease as a transition is this one right here called Serenity. This is a really nice transition shade, and this shade actually reminds me a lot of the cream to powder shade in the new Natasha Denona retro palette called Andy. Next, to deepen things up on the outer corner and bring it up a little bit into the crease, I'm gonna go into this sort of dark indigo shade here called Empowered. It is a shimmer, but I don't mind a shimmer in my crease, and I do want to try this shade as a deepening shade since there is just the one deep matte in here. So I'm using an angled brush, and I'm just going to start building this up on the outer corner, and then I will pull it up into the crease once most of the pigment is off the brush and I reach the desired depth on the outer corner. All right, and then I'm gonna go back into the original shade Serenity and just give that a little blend. And then just to clean things up a bit, I'm gonna go into this lightest matte pink shade here called Cherished on this same brush, and just kind of clean things up, add a little brightness to the brow. And then today's beautiful lid shade, I want to go in with this shade right here called Cosmic Love. You might have guessed that already. Oh, I can feel a little fallout, but that can probably be remedied with a glitter glue. Oh, I can't even believe that shade. It's ridiculous. So I'm gonna go into the last shade in the palette called Self Love. This one appears to have the least amount of glitter and might also serve as like an inner corner brightening. I think for the lower lash line, I'm just going to go back into our original transition crease shade, Serenity, and just start putting this on the lower lash line. So I think this is pretty much the eye look. I'm gonna pop off of here and finish things off, and then I'll come back, show you the final look, and then we'll be done for today. All right, we are back, and I will quickly tell you how I finished off the look. I used my e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara. For lips, my MAC World lip liner, and the Revlon Melting Glass Shine lipstick in the shade Glazed Mauve. But I really like today's look. Stay tuned because day 2 is coming up. All right, we are ready for look 2. I think today I want to try and see what kind of warmth we can pull out of this palette. So I'm gonna start things off in the transition with this shade right here, which is called Gratitude. A really nice, warm, rosy shade. All right, next we're gonna deepen things up in the crease with the shade Aura. And just like yesterday, I'm gonna pick that up on a little bit of an angled brush here. And I really like this type of a brush for deepening up the outer corner as well as blending that same shade up into the crease. All right, I'm gonna take that same Gratitude shade on the lower lash line. And then using the same pencil brush, picking up that deeper shade Aura. Just want to make sure that this is really deep on the most outer corners of the eye. Some of the depth does blend away. Now, all over the lid, I'm going to go in with the shade right here, the first shade in the palette called Quartz. And this is a very soft, almost like a satiny shade, but very beautiful and warm. So to add a little bit of shine, I'm going to add this shade called Energized on the center of the lid, and I'm just going to use my finger to do this. I'm going to look straight on in my mirror and start pressing this on and then blend. And then lastly, I'm going to use a little bit of my highlighter from today, which is the Makeup Revolution Highlight Reloaded in the shade Just My Type. And I'm going to use this for the inner corner. So this is the eye look. I'm going to pop off and finish everything off, lips and everything, and then I will be right back to show you the final look for day 2. All right, and here we are. This is the completed look. And we did pull some warmth out of this otherwise fairly cool palette, cool toned. Like I said, this shade is a little bit more of a satin shade. Looks pretty sparkly there. I think if you foiled it or added it on top of a glitter primer or something like that, you might get more impact from it. But I did finish off the eyes today with my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk mascara. And then for lips, I used my Milani Nude Entrance Liner and this little sampley guy of the Tarte C H2O Balm in the shade Hang 10. A really beautiful sort of warm nude shade that pairs perfectly with that lip liner. So that's all for me today. Stay tuned. Look 3 is coming up right now. Guys, welcome to the third look. We're gonna do it. We're going into this beautiful shade down here called Moon Magic. Let me give you a preview. That just makes my heart sing. It really does. I think I want to start things off in the transition with this shade called Radiate down here. And I'm just going to buff this out in my transition. Today I'm going to go into this shade called Precious as my crease shade. That's very nice. It's a beautiful sort of contouring shade in a cool tone. Okay, next, I think I want to define the upper lash line, and I'm gonna go into the deepest shade in the palette right here. It's called Mantra. It's kind of like a blackened purple shade, and I think it's gonna be really beautiful. I'm gonna take an angled liner brush here and spray the shadow after I pick it up. Give it a little spritz. This is just a Mario Badescu facial spray, and just kind of just a little kind of wing there just to give a little lift to the eye. And the reason I'm spraying this is 1, it makes a more crisp line, but 2, it also prevents fallout, of course. I just wanted to add a little depth to the upper lash line before we put on the shimmer shade, just because then we won't cause fallout by trying to do it after. It also softens the look of the liner a little bit. Now, for today's look, I am going to use a little touch of glitter glue, and I'm going to just lightly pat that all over the lid. I do still feel fallout, so I should be more aggressive in pressing this down, I guess. And I'm kind of bringing it all the way up into the crease even. Oh my goodness, that is so beautiful. Yikes. All right, what I'm thinking for the inner corner, or the inner part of the lid, is probably this shade down here, which is called Self Love. Looks like this, kind of a light rose gold, if you will. So just looking it down into my mirror and bringing that in to play with the other shade. Now, I watched Huda herself, do a live on Instagram, and what she did with this sort of weird, squishy love stone shade here is that she kind of used it as an inner corner, inner crease highlighting shade. So I really want to try that. She used kind of a long, flat brush like this. As you can see, it does pick up on that brush. Ooh. And I'm just going to kind of highlight the inner corner as well as carve out the inner crease with this shade. And she also showed that you could layer shadows on top, and that because it's a little dewy, it will hold on to those shadows. And then I do think I need something on the lower lash line. So I'm just gonna go in with this original shade Radiate here on a smudger brush and go ahead and put this on the lower lash line. So here is the look completed. I'm gonna pop off of here and do some tight lining, mascara, and a lip, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the completed look for day 3. All right, here we are with the completed look. Finished off the eyes with my e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara, and for lips I used MAC Strip Down lip liner and MAC Velvet Teddy lipstick, and the gloss is Rimmel Stay Glossy in the shade Blushing Belgraves. But this is today's completed look. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Number 4 is coming at you right now. Welcome to day 4. Today we are going pink, which is just for you guys. I'm not a big pink eyeshadow fan, but I'm going to start things off in my crease with the shade Happiness. I'm going to start by really pressing this into the crease, kind of placing it first before I blend it out. I'm going to go ahead and blend things out with this lightest matte in the palette called Cherished. I think this would be really beautiful for like a all over the lid matte look as well. I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which is called Precious. See what kind of depth we can get with this. There we go. I didn't do too bad of a job. Next, I want to use the shade up here, Joy, for the center part of the lid. I'm going to put this on using a pinched fluffy. Alright, now that I have that applied, I'm going to take a little spray on a clean brush and just pat it over top to foil it. I can't tell if it's the shift on this one or if it's the formula. It seems like a little patchy almost, but maybe it just needs built up. I'm going to take this same pinched fluffy brush and I'm going to go into this shade right here called Self Love. I feel like this is the lightest shade in the palette, so I'm going to use this on the inner part of the lid. I don't think I want to put anything on the lower lash line today, so I'm going to pop off of here and do some mascara. I'm going to clean up the sides a little bit, do a lip, the hair, the whole thing, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the final look for day 4. All right, here we are with the completed look. I finished off the eyes with just a little bit of the Merit Lengthening Mascara. For lips, I lined with MAC Whirl, added a little bit of the e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine in the shade Ecstatic, and then finished off with the Ice Gloss, the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in Ice. But here is the completed look. Stay tuned. Look 5 is coming at you right now. Party people, here we are on day 5. Just wanted to let you know that there's some fiber optic interweb shenanigans being installed on our upholstery outside. So if you can kind of hear a humming, etc., you know, hopefully that'll be okay, and hopefully it will just be for today. But I'm going to start things off in the transition with this shade right here, which is Radiate. And I'm going to also run this same shade along the lower lash line. And then in the outer corner and crease, I want to go into this more gray toned little bit more mid-tone, and it is called Precious. And I want to start things off by kind of packing this on the outer part of the lid, and then we'll pull it up into the crease. I will say so far, however, if you don't like cool tones or you don't like purple, this would not be the palette for you. The next shade is again that Abundance shade that I want to focus on today. And it's a little bit of a softer pressed shadow. And I just want to have a little bit of insurance that I'm not going to end up with this dark shade all over my face. So I'm going to apply a little bit of the NYX glitter glue. And then I'm going to pick this up on my finger. It's such a beautiful purpley taupey shade. I was just really feeling inspired by it. And I'm gonna apply this one eye at a time. So there's that. And then I'm gonna take my brush that I used the darker crease shade on and really honestly intentionally buff this shade up into the crease and out. I really wanted to do kind of more of a one shadow look, but with more than one shadow, which whatever. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. I love that so much. I honestly don't think I want to do anything else except for apply a little bit of a brightening shade on the very innermost part of the lid. So I'm going to go into the shade Self Love down here. I just feel like this is probably the only shade that works really well for like an inner corner or inner lid highlight, and that's okay. And then one more thing, I just want to dip into the shade Mantra, this deepest matte in the palette, and add just the tiniest little bit of depth on the outer corner. Awesome. Okay, I am going to clean up the sides a little bit with a little bit of concealer. I thought I would go ahead and let you guys see how I do this in case it would be helpful. I take a flat square eyeshadow brush, take my concealer, pull the wand up, and then I just pick up a tiny bit off of the stick part of the applicator. I come to my outer corner and I just pull it straight out. I don't go up at an angle or anything like that because this is more flattering to my eye shape. And then I just press over it with my finger, and that pretty much does it. So I'm going to do that on the other side, mascara, liner, lip, the whole thing, and then I'll be back to show you the completed look for day 5. All right, here is that completed look. And I finished off the eyes with my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk mascara. Lips, MAC Whirl, no surprise there. And then I used the Nudestix Gel Color Lip and Cheek Balm in the shade Pulse. Just a really pretty pinky shade. And then for a little gloss and a little sparkle, I'm using my Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Pearl. Let me know what you guys think down below. Stay tuned. Another one's coming at you right now. This is look number 6. We'll have one more day after today. And I want to focus in on this shade called Blissful right here. I believe that's the only shade that I haven't used in this video. I did use Blissful one day before ever, you know, starting the 1 week 1 palette. But that is going to be our focus for today. And I want to use our warmer cheek options, but I am going to start with the darkest shade for this look, not in the palette today, and that is the shade Aura. And I'm just going to place this on the outer part of the lid, and then as I have less pigment on the brush, I will bring it up into the crease as well. And I'm going to take that same shade on a flat definer brush here, a little square flat brush, and take this on the lower lash line, just about the outer third to half. Next, we're going to go into the shade Gratitude right here to blend things out. But I'm going to start on the lower lash line with a pencil brush and just go ahead and blend things out. So I'm just picking that up on a flat topped fluffy brush, and I'm going to start things off on the inner part of the crease because I don't want to drag the deep shadow in any further. All right, we're looking pretty bold here, I think. I am quickly going to apply some NYX glitter glue, and then we are going to go into the shade Blissful. Just look at that. So good. Look at that. I'm going to take the highlighter that I have on my face today, which is from the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, and I'm going to apply this on the inner corner as well as the inner part of the lid. I'm going to pop up here, do some liner, mascara, lip, the hair, the whole deal, and then I'll be back to show you the final look for day 6. All right, we are back. This is the completed look. I used my Wet n Wild eyeliner and the Thrive Cosmetics liquid lash extensions. I used the Milani Understatement lip liner in the shade Nude Entrance, my MAC Velvet Teddy lipstick that I'm working on project panning, and for a little gloss I used the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Amber. So here's today's look. I really enjoy this look. Stay tuned because the very last day of 1 Week 1 Palette is coming at you right now. Hi guys, welcome to the final day with the Rose Quartz palette, at least for this week. And I think we're gonna go ahead and start things out in transition with Radiate. I have a little glob or something of eye primer over here, and then I set it like an idiot. So if it looks a little patchy there today, it will not be the fault of the shadows. For the crease, I'm gonna go into the shade Precious right here, and I'm gonna start this right at the hood to place. So I don't want it to come too far out. I like this color, the original color there. And then once I have it in the crease, I'm going to apply some to the outer corner. And then for the very outer corner, I'm gonna go into the deepest matte in the palette, which is Mantra. And I wanna put this in the very outer corner and pretty targeted, a little bit at an angle with the upper lash line. And I'm just gonna build this gradually. All right, and now we are ready for this gorgeous shimmer right here called Energized. I'm gonna apply this with a pinched fluffy brush. This is a way that I personally like to apply thicker metallic shadows on my aging eyelids, and it just kind of gives a little bit of a smoother application. I mean, and this is just if you want it to be this way. If you want full, thick, metallic pigment, go in with your finger. I encourage you. And this way, you could still get that full metallic goodness. It's just, you will layer it up this way and you will have a better texture on the eyelid. For the under eye, all I'm going to do is go into this shade Radiate right here and buff it on the lower lash line. Really blown out, semi-messy, and we'll see how we feel about that once it's too late. Okay, I'm gonna pop off of here, do some mascara, lip, the whole thing, and then when I come back to show you this final look, I'm also going to give you my thoughts and opinions on this palette after using it for more than 1 week. Hi guys, we are back, and this is the completed final look with the Rose Quartz palette. I really enjoy this look actually, and the only thing I struggle with is because of my warm complexion, when I'm trying to do a cool tone eye and then have cool tones on the cheeks or the lips, everything comes off warm. So it is what it is. So I finished off the look with the Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. Holy Grail Whirl Lip Liner and my ColourPop Luxe Lip Oil in the shade Bangle. So let us talk about the palette. The skinny is, I did use every single shade in the palette at least one time. I used the mattes multiple times, and it's perfect. I don't think there's any duds in here if you understand that she was going for different textures here. Some are more smooth and more like a satin eyeshadow. However, some are like today, that very thick, very metallic. Then you have the mattes, of course, and then you have shades like Abundance here, where you might be able to see it's a little chunkier, a little softer, and therefore it's not quite as shiny as the metallics, not quite as soft as the satin shade. So there are quite a few textures in here, and that does not include the Petri dish in the room, which is Lovestone. I actually like this. I think it's fun. I did not get a chance to try this as like a glitter glue, but you can see that it does have some effect. If you're into that glossy lid look, this might be one way to achieve it. If you're wanting to get this palette anyways, or it falls within your budget. I just think it's fun. I really liked it as an inner corner highlight, and it definitely would pull some more shine or oomph out of some of these shades, I think, if you layer underneath. I personally trust and know the NYX glitter primer, so I chose to stick with that this week so that I can get an accurate idea of what's going on with this palette. I like to use things that I know. For example, I always use the Fenty Beauty eyeshadow primer when testing palettes now, because I know that that lasts on my eyes all day. So yeah, wow, this is amazing. I really enjoy this. Things I think you should know before purchasing this palette is that you're gonna get a predominantly cool tone or purpley pink look. You're not going to come out of here with very many warm eyeshadow looks. There's a little tiny bit of warmth right here in the first 3 shades in the palette. I do think Energized is pretty cool toned, but I do think it can pull a little bit warmer when paired with these shades up here. I think you should know that that's exactly what you can expect from this palette. You know, it's kind of like the Naughty Nude palette that she put out. You're gonna get a berry look out of there, or some form of it. And, you know, if you know that going into this palette, then I think you're going to be very happy with it. If you're looking for something like this, but with a little bit more variety, I would steer you towards Mercury Retrograde. There's a lot more variety within the mattes, therefore there's a lot more different paths that you can take with that palette. You know, you can go blue, you can go peach, you can go berry, you can go purple. If you're looking for more variety of different types of look that you can do with a palette, then I would recommend Mercury Retrograde. If you love cool tones, if you love pink, you love purple, then I think you would absolutely adore this. I'm not a big pink and purple person, but when I'm looking for pink and purple, it's typically this type of thing, a little bit grayed out, not quite so warm or vibrant. I don't know. I just really enjoyed this palette. Huda's mattes are just out of bound, smooth, silky, easy to blend, and I just love them. Like, if she put out a palette tomorrow that was all matte eyeshadows, I would put it on my wish list immediately. You know, take all of that for what you will. As you know, on my channel, I don't ever tell you you need something or you should buy something. That is entirely up to you. My goal is to bring you as much information or as much inspiration as I can in a video like this, so that you can make your own decision about whether this palette or this product would be right for you. And with all of that said, thank you so much for hanging out with me for this week with this beautiful palette, beautiful packaging. And I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. And I will see you in my next video very, very soon. Oh, and I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days.